Got a bite right here. Got him. Good gracious. Hang on, guys, hang on. Big old fish. Big old bass. Got a bite right here. Got him. Good gracious. Hang on, guys, hang on. Big old fish. Big old bass. Got him. Good gracious. Woo. All right. Check that out. Whew. See that speed worm right there? Man, that guy knocked a mess out of it. Beautiful, beautiful bass. Man. Whew. Pop it out of his mouth. That's the zoom speed worm right there. Whew. There you go, guys. Out here at Lake Kenansville, trying to catch a big old bass. And guess what? First one, big old bass. So let's go ahead and let this fish go, and let's get another one. Gone. Woo. I might have to make a run for it. All right, so we got a big old storm coming right now. Heavy rain. So I'm gonna take off that direction right now as far as I can go and see if we can get out of the storm. It looks pretty heavy. Got one. Mudfish. Big mudfish. That boy get tired. Ah, man. He's mad, I know that. Ah, come on. Whew. Lord have mercy, I can't get on fast enough. Little guy, but it's a fish. While it's raining. Got him in the rain. Whew. He's healthy. Nice fish. See if we can get past his grasp. There's no way I get an outboard across that. There's no way without this guy right here. All right, see if we can catch fish. Got a bite. Ah, right there by the boat. There we go. Little guy. Still take him though. All right, so I caught a few small bass on the south end of the lake here. And what I'm gonna do, my last hour, I'm gonna run all the way to the way on the other side of the lake where I caught that really big bass and fished that one row all the way down. I think I'm the only boat on the lake, so I gotta be careful. I don't wanna be here too long, and the storms are getting, I think they're getting bigger. So I better not risk it. Let's go fish that one side and then get out of here. All right, let's go do it. Oh, got a hit. Got him. Here we go. Not a bad guy. All right. Not a big one, but a healthy fish. I mean, this guy is super healthy. All right, let's let him go. So here's the lake breakdown of my trip today. All right, let's go. I tell you, that was a very cool fishing trip. A lot of storms, but I had a great time trying to find those big bass. So let me give you a breakdown of my day fishing at Kenansville. So Kenansville is a 2,500 acre lake. It's a really shallow lake. Average depth is around 3 feet, kind of give you an idea. And there are some deep spots. We have a few, not many in Kenansville, but there's a few spots. So this was basically a cow pasture, back in the 80s, and they flooded this place in 1993. All right, so this place was flooded in 1993. Now you may hear the term Jurassic Park. So Jurassic Park is what a lot of the locals call Kenansville Lake. And the reason why we call it Jurassic Park is because of the big, gigantic bass that we catch in this lake right here. This place has quality fish. I mean, it is definitely a place where you can catch an 8 or a 9 or 10 pound bass without a problem. And I say without a problem, it's always a challenge. It's never easy like you see on Facebook and YouTube. We make it look too easy. It's really not easy to catch fish, all right, a lot of times. So that being said, let me give you a breakdown of the map and where I went fishing to catch these big fish, or the one big fish and a bunch of little fish here. So let me put this, so here's the map right here. Now, the first place we're gonna start is the boat ramp. Now, if you've never been to Kenansville, let me go ahead and warn you, the boat ramp is steep, all right? This is not a normal boat ramp you would see at regular lakes. So it is actually kind of intimidating. I've been doing this for a long time, so it doesn't really intimidate me, but when I first came here, the first 5 times, I was nervous to back my boat down into Kenansville. So just be aware, if you've never been here, the boat ramp is steep. Another thing about Kenansville, it is down a 12-mile dirt road. So let me blow this up. So you see the boat ramp right here, right? So this is the boat ramp. Let me back out of this map here. And you will see right here is a long dirt road. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere right here, okay? And so you don't miss the dirt road, right here is a nice little farm store. They sell food, they sell chicken feed. They got all kinds of great, cool stuff in this store. You'll see this on the right-hand side if you come in this direction right here. And then right before the dirt road, there's actually a little restaurant right here called Griffith's Cafe. And there's a little sign that says Kenansville Lake, but it's kind of small. If you're not paying attention, you may miss it. Now, the cool thing about this dirt road, it's actually paved now. Now, this used to be all dirt, but now it's paved probably about, I don't know, 1/4 mile right here. And then it turns into a rugged dirt road. So just be aware that dirt road is way, way out there. Now, it's a long ways out here. To me, it's well worth it. On my way this time, I saw a cow in the road. I saw armadillos. I saw a deer. Every time I come out here and I drive that dirt road early in the morning, I see a lot of wildlife, and I love nature. So that's another benefit of being way out in the middle of nowhere. All right, so let's get to the lake. I'm gonna put this in 3D mode here, make it a little bit easier for us to follow. Okay, so let me get the tracker here. So I started from the boat ramp, and this is a canal. Bring this up here. This is canal, and you get to the point right here where you have 2 options, okay? You can either go, I call this the North Canal, so this is actually the North Canal right here, or you can go out this direction where the flat is. Now sometimes this North Canal, let me make it bigger here. This North Canal right here can get blocked, all right? So if you have an outboard, you may have a hard time getting through the grass, and you may get clogged up. So just to be aware, if you're in this North Canal right here, there's fence posts all down this side right here. So just to be safe, if you've never been to Kenansville, just stay in the canal. Don't go to the right once you're in the canal, because you could either hit bottom or you could hit a fence post. And I think there's barbed wire still attached to the fence, so that's the last thing you want to do. So I had a mud boat, so I didn't go down North Canal. I want to go to the flat and kind of see what was going on out here. So in the first place that I started, I came about right here. Now this water over here on this side is very shallow. I'll say around 3 to 4 feet. And what I was throwing here, I was throwing a speed worm, a saltwater chug bug. That's my favorite for Kenansville. I catch a lot of big bass on the chug bug. And also threw a wake bait. That's another of my favorite lures. And I didn't get any bites. The water was really dirty. I mean, really dirty. It wasn't clean. They sprayed the grass out there, so it looks like a lot of the grass has died. And once you spray the grass, it kind of decomposes and it makes the water looked pretty nasty, right? So I fished here about 30 minutes. I was like, you know what? It's time to roll out of here. I'm not even going to try that. So then I went to the North Canal. And kind of give you an idea where it's, you know, compared to Florida. This is the East Coast right here. This is the East Coast. All right. This is Farm 13 right here, Blue Cypress. Kind of give you an idea where things are located. All right, so let's get back to the lake. So right here is the North Canal, and I started right here. Now the wind was blowing about 15 knots. It was pretty bad. There was a huge storm coming from the East Coast, from the ocean side, coming our way. And I have an aluminum boat, right? A 16-foot aluminum boat with no power poles and nothing. And basically that wind was it was pushing me. And all I could do was take the trolling motor and just kind of you know, drift with the wind and cast. And it wasn't a problem. I caught that big bass, and I'm estimating that bass probably weighed 5 to 6 pounds. I didn't weigh it or nothing. Around this area right here. The canal is about 6 feet deep right here. And I was casting a worm from this shallow area. You can see how shallow it is and how it has a lot of hydrilla. Basically taking that boat was just drifting, and I was casting to the shore back to the boat, and he hit right beside the boat. There was a huge storm coming off the East Coast, and I was like, you know what, I better get out of here and let me make a run as far as I can to get away from that storm. So let me show you my track from there. So at that point, I left this area trying to beat the storm, and I got caught right here. Well, the storm was way too big. I mean, it covered the entire lake, and the only thing I could do is basically just wait, you know, just kind of wait it out. So I sat here about 30 to 45 minutes for the storm to go through. The storm went through, got soaking wet, and then I just started fishing after the storm went through, and I started fishing this area over here. Now, I didn't have any bass bites. I didn't catch. I hooked into a giant bowfin, so the bowfin was huge. Hooked into the bowfin, it got off, and then the rain started coming again. I said, you know what, let me go ahead and shoot up here to the east side of the lake. Now the canal, there's a canal that runs all the way down here. This is the east side of the lake right here, all the way down. And there's great fishing all down this canal. Really good fishing. I love fishing this lake, so I catch a lot of big fish in these canals. But anyway, this was actually blocked. I got to this point, and this is really blocked pretty bad with a lot of grass and islands of weeds and everything else. So I just kind of smashed through it with the mud boat, not a problem. And I came all the way back here to the back end. I broke out the speed worm, and I caught one fish right here. Let me break this out. I kept coming down the side here, and I caught 2 more fish around this area. But they were all small fish. And I was like, you know what? It's getting late in the day. I'm probably the only boat on the whole lake, and I'm on the far end, so this is where I'm at right here. As you can tell, so here's a boat ramp. I'm way back on the back end of the lake. Now there's storms coming from all, from the East Coast. I mean, they were just flooding in from the East Coast, just knocking the mess out of us with rain and wind. So I decided to basically run back all the way back to this point right here. When I got to this point, there was one bass boat in my spot, right? He was in this corner right here. And the last thing I want to do is go bust into this guy's spot and really the mud boat is really loud. It's kind of like an airboat. The motors is really loud. I didn't want to spook his spot. So basically I just took a U-turn and I started fishing right here in the flat. And this flat was around 4 feet, and there was some hydrilla just kind of isolated all by itself. And let me get closer. You can see some of the hydrilla spots, but I'm sure this is not the same hydrilla that I was fishing. But anyway, there was hydrilla spots out here. And I just took the speed worm, cast around, and I caught a fish. And I said, okay. And this guy, eventually, the guy that was sitting here, he was actually fishing this side right here. He wasn't even fishing this north canal. He's actually just fishing this canal here. But I guess he was going this direction because he was here for a little while, and then he shot off and went way, way back over here on this side. And I said, you know what? I caught my small fish. Let me run back to my good spot on the North Canal here. So basically I fished this canal right here where I couldn't fish anymore. And I just had a great day, and I was like, you know what? It's getting late, and it's time to get home because storms again were rolling back through behind me.
and I had a long drive to get home. But overall, it's just a great day to fish. I mean, it was rough as far as the wind and rain, but you know, it's what it takes when you love fishing. It doesn't matter what the weather's doing. You just get your boat out there and you give it your best shot. But overall, it was a successful day. And if I had to start this day all over again, if I knew what I knew now, if I was going back to the lake that morning, I would probably focus more on this north side here, this north canal. And I would also drift. I would probably start here and just let my boat drift with the wind and the flats, because I caught that one fish here. I feel like there was more fish to catch in the flats. So that's probably what I would have done. I would have definitely hit this back corner back here, because I feel like there's a lot of good fish back here too. So that's what I would have, if I had to do it differently, that's what I would have done. Probably would have saved some time focusing on that canal, the north canal, a little bit more. So, hey, thank you so much for joining me on this fishing trip. I really had a great time. And if you have any questions about Kenansville, you know, feel free to ask me the questions in the comments. I'll definitely respond back to you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.